sir.
How much money you got in the bank?
I don't know, sir.
You have no idea? Apparently your car's not in good shape after the accident situation, huh? Memory issues. I'll go inner voice on that whole thing. You run people into a telephone pole and things go bump in the night, you might have some memory issues, huh?
On March 9th, 2025, in St. Petersburg, Florida, a 33-year-old man named Kyle Hill became enraged after an argument with his ex-girlfriend. Believing she was in a particular Honda vehicle, he pursued it aggressively, reaching speeds of 60 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of 0.185, over twice the legal limit. Kyle Hill called his ex-girlfriend during the chase, threatening, "I got you. I'm going to kill you, your friend, and myself." Tragically, the occupants of the Honda were not his ex-girlfriend, but Norbelis Figueiredo Campos and his girlfriend, Arisleni Blanco Medina. They are recent immigrants from Cuba en route to Walmart. Kyle Hill's actions forced their car off the road, causing it to crash into a concrete pole, which collapsed onto the vehicle, leading to the loss of precious life and severe injuries. Welcome to Crime-Berry Stories. Here we shed light on some of the most heartbreaking and shocking cases of abuse, neglect, and crime. If you're new to this channel, please kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our crime stories. This story takes us to St. Petersburg, Florida, a city known for its tranquil beaches and vibrant communities. But on the evening of March 9th, 2025, tranquility gave way to terror in a tragic tale of rage, mistaken identity, and irreversible consequences. This is the story of a man whose personal turmoil led to a fatal encounter with innocent lives. A story of unchecked emotions, alcohol-fueled recklessness, and the devastating ripple effect of a single tragic mistake. Kyle Hill, 33-year-old man, residing in Pinellas Park, Florida. Friends and family described him as a complex individual, battling personal demons and struggling with alcohol dependency. Despite moments of normalcy, Kyle's life was marked by reckless decisions. His criminal record revealed a history of misdemeanors and probation violations, painting a picture of a man on the edge. Small incidents of disorderly conduct and public intoxication escalated over the years, each one a warning sign that went unheeded. Kyle's drinking problem had worsened significantly in recent years. It wasn't just about social drinking, it was an escape, a means to suppress emotions that he couldn't control. He drank to forget. He drank to cope. But with every bottle emptied, his grip on reality slipped further. With each arrest, each moment of intoxication, his instability grew, until one night it reached its breaking point. Kyle's relationship with his ex-girlfriend was tumultuous. What began as a passionate connection spiraled into a toxic cycle of arguments and resentment. Friends recalled their early days together, how their love seemed to burn bright, but underneath the surface, trouble brewed. Kyle's jealousy and controlling behavior became apparent, particularly when alcohol was involved. He would accuse her of cheating, become possessive, and lash out in drunken rants. The arguments were frequent, and the emotional toll was significant. His ex-girlfriend tried to walk away multiple times, but Kyle would always find a way to reel her back in. Apologies, promises of change, gestures that made it seem like he was finally turning a corner. But it never lasted. Fueled by alcohol and jealousy, their disputes became routine. And in the days leading up to March 9th, their conflicts escalated, culminating in a heated exchange that set the tragic events in motion. The night before, Kyle had been sending a barrage of angry messages, accusing her of betrayal, threatening to show up at her home uninvited. She ignored him. But Kyle was the kind of man who wouldn't take silence as an answer. He stewed in his anger, drinking heavily, replaying the perceived wrongs over and over in his mind. On March 9th, 2025, around 7:30 p.m., Kyle was at a local bar, consuming alcohol heavily. As the night progressed, his intoxicated rage intensified. He was drinking alone at first, but as the night went on, he started ranting to the bartender about his ex. Patrons nearby overheard snippets of his fury, how she had ruined his life, how she would regret it. A phone call from his ex-girlfriend ignited his fury. Though short, the call ended in a shouting match. Witnesses described Kyle slamming his glass down, storming out of the bar, and getting into his car with reckless determination. He was convinced she was in a specific Honda Accord, a car he had seen her friend drive before. Without verifying, without a second thought, he jumped into his vehicle and took off, determined to confront her. He sped recklessly through the streets of St. Petersburg, reaching dangerous speeds of 60 miles per hour in a 35 miles per hour zone. His obsession blinded him to the reality of his actions. During the chase, he dialed his ex-girlfriend, his voice filled with venom. "I got you. I'm going to kill you, your friend, and myself." But Kyle had made a fatal mistake. The car he was chasing? It wasn't hers. Inside the Honda were Norbelis Figueiredo Campos, 35-year-old, and his girlfriend, Arisleni Blanco Medina, 28-year-old. The couple, recent immigrants from Cuba, were on their way to Walmart, completely unaware of the danger approaching from behind. Figueiredo Campos had been in the U.S. for about a year and a half, while his girlfriend arrived a few months ago. Blanco Medina was talking on the phone with her father and 9-year-old daughter during the incident and told them she feared for her life. Her family members heard the crash. Arisleni, with a heart full of dreams, had come to the United States seeking a better life. She worked tirelessly to build a future, saving money, working long hours, sending what she could back home to her family. Her boyfriend, Norbelis, was just as hardworking, hoping to carve out a life free of struggle. But on that night, fate intervened in the cruelest way possible. Near 17th Avenue North, Kyle's aggressive pursuit forced the Honda off the road. The vehicle slammed into a concrete pole, which then collapsed onto the car. Hill lost control of his vehicle and crashed into a tree in the median. By the time first responders arrived, the scene was one of devastation. Arisleni Blanco Medina was pronounced dead at the scene. Norbelis suffered severe injuries, including a broken femur and 2 broken ankles. His world was shattered in an instant. One moment, they were on a simple errand. The next, his entire future was destroyed. Kyle Hill was arrested at the scene. His blood alcohol level was 0.185, more than twice the legal limit. At first, he faced charges of DUI manslaughter and vehicular homicide. But as investigators uncovered the chilling threats he had made before the crash, the charges were upgraded to first-degree murder and attempted murder. Authorities argued that Kyle had turned his vehicle into a weapon, an argument that would weigh heavily in the courtroom. The prosecution painted him as a man whose rage turned deadly, whose lack of self-control cost an innocent woman her life. The tragedy sent shockwaves through the St. Petersburg community. Friends and family of the victims gathered to mourn. A candlelight vigil was held in Arisleni's memory, as the community came together in grief and outrage. The incident also reignited conversations about domestic violence, alcohol abuse, and the devastating consequences of reckless behavior. This tragic event is a sobering reminder of how unchecked emotions and substance abuse can destroy lives in an instant. One moment of blind rage, one reckless decision, and a young woman's life was stolen. A man's future was left in ruins. And Kyle Hill, who had set out that night with vengeance in his heart, now faces the weight of his irreversible actions. As justice takes its course, the echoes of that fateful night will forever linger in the lives of those left behind. My condolences to the victims' families. May you continue to heal and one day find peace. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as heartbreaking as we did, consider sharing it to raise awareness about the consequences of actions under alcohol influence and toxic relationships. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that need to be heard. I'll see you in the next video.